喺呢一年，我終於對到對自己嘅誠
有啲黑佬，
唱咗首電視劇主題曲
克蘇魯
歌手。可以捱
咁大嘅？
我 busking 嘅時候遇到一個同學，仲因為我喺香港努力打工儲咗2年錢。呢一切嘅背後，要由2009年講起。喺嗰日，
錄咗你發聲。
叫我唔好為佢嘅離開而傷心，好好為自己生活。所以我應承咗，亦應承咗自己，去用音樂鼓勵其他人。結果我帶住咗積蓄離開香港，開始我4年busking邊走邊唱嘅生涯。步入瘋狂。有一次，有聽眾因為聽到我唱兒會時候，解開咗佢多年嘅心。如果我媽仲長，佢會唔會為我而走到邊度？走咗大半個地球，佢對一個承諾，明白到只要踏出第一步去儲錢，人生就會有好多收穫。
好似有啲快啊！
真的哈，兄弟，真的假的呀？你妈那边怎么了？我感觉这个那你从今天开始，以后
好多鯊魚，鯊魚。要點燃，必須點燃。係咯。來，讓我們一起見證神聖的時刻。 走人。
啊，这太重要了。为了表示一下我们两口子的这个心愿和祝福，我们俩唱歌唱千曲。
哇，没了。都係刪咗個點心，盡心刪咗佢先，有需要先再開。
又唔唱得冇嗰啲點解仲喺度唱？
嗰隻係海豚嚟嗰隻。
其实我们还看到了这个张老师和陈老师之间对生活的一个解读，向他们学习，好好走这个幸福，好吗？来，准备。
咁照嚟分享。
接下来我们要看到的是下一对嘉宾朋友在他们的爱情道路上碰到了怎样的困惑，看 VCR。
Everything has perhaps you will attempt to change your destiny.
I hate whiskey. It's been too long since I've slept in a bed. I used to be an avid reader. The Wentworth Agency doesn't attract top-notch cases. I have business here. Married woman runs off with her girlfriend. Husband couldn't understand it.
已婚女士與女友私奔。係啦。冇得睇。
A good old story of blackmail in a speakeasy. Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology.
自然語言。
I should get rid of all this stuff.
其实我觉得，是不是你们出现的问题，你才会这样说我？现在
Been a while since I jotted down something other than my nightmares.
尴尬，一边是我的兄弟，一边是我最爱的女人。
調查局
应该怎么去面对这件事情，所以我很希望这件事情能有一个很好的解决的办法。
I wonder why I still take these things.
那接下来我们就用掌声先请出这对兄弟吧，来，掌声有请。小丁来自山东，是摄影24，小范34来自北京，
有人揾我，唔理佢。這將會影響你嘅命運啊！飲酒反正係衰嘅，咁冇飲嘅。
要求结义之前是什么关系？很简單，就是一個
飲一杯應該唔會影響。
I have business here.
这种工作之中建立起來的啊。那在一次生意中，公司就
我聽一聽啦。
I'm listening.
Are you Edward Pierce, private investigator contracted by the Wentworth Agency?
That's correct.
Hello, Mr. Pierce. I'm Lucy Showerfield, in charge of investigators over at Wentworth. I'm calling because of a problem with your file. A fire destroyed some of our documents.
Is that right?
I'm so very sorry, but I have to collect your personal information yet again.
我们两个是大学同学，我大概一届
喂，姓咩喎？
然后其实我心里也是一直在喜欢他的。你跟他表白过吗？没有，他是我的大哥，他明明知道我喜欢他的，但是他还是把我喜欢的女孩抢走了。你知道他喜欢的？
神秘學
我知道一点，我看。
提高該
既然你知道了我喜歡的女
讓你更有可能成功搞定神秘 飛雲。買咁樣都係要鑑定。
你也没有向女孩表白过，人家看到女孩喜欢，人家表白了，人家成了一对。看到他们两个已经在一起了，我自己心里真的是很难去接受。然后买了车票回了老家，那个时候我就已经想过是说，我不要再来北京了，然后我也不想再去见到他。后来是他跑到我的老家去找了我，
隱藏嘅舉，
終於決定說放手吧。那你來這兒幹嘛呀？但是他們現在又已經出現了問題。
未發現嘅物品不會在遊戲中顯示未消。
他懷疑他的女朋友又跟我有什麼關係？我的懷疑是來源於什麼，你明白嗎？他們經常會私下見面。有一次，他們兩個見面被我碰到了，打電話我女朋友還不接。就只是因為沒有接電話，你就去猜忌他，去懷疑他嗎？那這個是一個理由啊。我跟他本來就已經認識了很長時間，然後一直在學校的時候，就是他每當自己
說服同操縱他人，究竟呢個口才。
不高興的時候，
口才係咯，口才好屈機。
我自己有什麼不開心的事情，我也會找他。你現在有什麼不開心的事情要找他呢？我在他的工作室里已經工作了很長時間了。從我07年來到北京上大學開始，我就在我課餘的時間一直在他的工作室里幫他工作。然後我現在大學畢業以後也一直留在他的工作室里。但是他一直在苛刻我的工資，他把我自己應得的勞務報酬減得很低。在這2年之中，他每個月只給我1000多塊錢到2000塊錢。然後在這整整2年的時間當中，他苛刻我整整將近10萬多元。真的，范总，对，为什么？原因很简单，他那次失恋，把自己搞得一塌糊涂，会胡乱的去交一些女朋友，完了就为这些所谓的女朋友去花钱买这个买那个。我喜欢他们，我为他们花钱难道不可以吗？我必须得的。你现在挣这些钱，这样以后能够在这个地方立足，这样才能让他能够结婚生子。
What's wrong?
As you know, we wish to closely monitor the progress of our contract. And it would seem you've been accepting fewer new cases.
Work is scarce.
Mr. Pierce, you know as well as I do there's never been more investigative work than now.
But are those cases worth it?
They're worth not only your life. Show yourself worthy of the Wentworth Detective Agency, and we'd like you on the payment. Mr. Pierce,
cut 個電話就啱。
I'm coming.
已經夠煩啦，仲煩其實。
我承認我一個外地人在北京一個北漂很難生存。扣下來他那些工資，您幫他攒了嗎
Sir, I came here on the advice of a person whom I hold in high esteem, and I must say that I expected anything but a drunkard's lair.
你信任你女朋友嗎？我以前很信任。現在呢？
呢度如果唔飲酒，係咪會講其他嘢？
Do you know to whom you speak?
Stephen Webster, industrialist and art collector. All of Boston knows you.
Tell me, Mr. Pierce, are you capable of handling a new case, or are you simply a deadbeat inebriate?
If you come to me, it means you're desperate.
Nobody believes me. They take me for an old fool. Sarah, my little girl, she is dead. Even you must know of her. She was Sarah Hawkins.
The painter? Yes. Everyone knows her work.
The police accuse her of killing her family. They all died in a fire. Sarah, her husband, and Simon, my grandson.
I can't do anything for a woman who is already dead.
Find out the truth. They say she was mad, but I know that's a lie. She would never have done such a thing.
But if you have no proof...
I've brought all that I have. Look. I want you to look carefully at this painting. Tell me all the assumptions that come to mind.
邪教。
What am I supposed to find?
Tell me if this is the work of madness, or if, on the contrary, you manage to detect some logic, a rationality to follow so that I may understand it.
Is that all you want from me?
Yes, please.
All right. I'll look at your picture. That's all you've got? The painting?
I placed a file on your desk. It contains everything I have on the affair.
不是备胎，是根本就没有考虑过跟他的感情。我就觉得他人很老实，所以说他对我好，我没有拒绝，因为我会觉得他也不会多想，所以我也不会多想。
佢相信呢句話係佢女兒親自寄信。
一个眼神一个小举动，就能知道陈岚是不是对我已经暗中抽波很久。
理智，精神創傷。
原来我觉得在这方面没有人是傻瓜，除非他真傻，你一看就不傻。
我真的不知道，因为我们两个人在一块聊天的时候，他经常还跟我讲他去追学妹，他去喜欢别人的事情，我还给他出主意，我真的不知道，我也真的没有感觉。
也就是说，你对他一点感觉都没有，对不对？
没有，真的没有。
那我问你，你出去面试失败了，你当时是给我打电话，是我在一直开导着你的。如果是你对我一点感觉都没有的话，就遇到这种事情，你为什么不去找他？你为什么要来找我呢？
我真的没想到你今天能问我这个问题，为什么去找你？我跟你讲了，是因为我跟老范平常，我们俩现在是年龄上的差距也好，是感情上的经历的也好，我们两个人聊不到一块儿去。我跟他讲这个，他只会教育我。
这里有一个疑惑，你们之前你跟这个老范好的时候，小丁不是因为这事儿都跟你们翻脸了，回家乡去了，这段事儿你知道吧？
这段事儿我知道，
那你就知道他对你一直是心生情愫的。为什么你是我不？
Its strange beauty isn't enough to hide the feeling of dread it carries.
他说丁喜欢你，你知道吗？
行，一个人允许他情商很低没关系，我们要相信别人嘛。我相信，但是这3个人中，我觉得最低的是丁，其次是范，最高的是小吴。但是他现在反而说自己情商最低，这个世界怎么了？我的眼光太差了。我们把范儿请上来吧，反正他们俩没什么事儿，我们把范儿请上来。来，有请老范。得了，我看你把关系捋顺吧。这个上下级是上下级，兄弟归兄弟，大家不要利用感情来做工作上面的事，这是第一点啊。第二点是说，即使是亲兄弟，您这要结了婚也得自己过自己的日子。
我觉得我们两个人的问题不是因为他。
行，兄弟，你下去歇会儿。
女精神 Infinity 原生營養組合，20倍乳鐵蛋白，支持寶寶腸道健康及免疫力。
丁兄弟，来，您再回味吧，把他放在一边，不说他了，就说你们俩的关系啊，有问题吗？
A warehouse on Darkwater.
你不觉得你
Some sketches of the Hawkins family.
你把这个钱全都自己留起来，好，你为他攒的钱，你为什么要这么做啊？你是他爸，
第36號倉庫。
你让他生活吗？他1个月的房租加水电费加朋友，他连应酬都没有，你知不知道？你知不知道他跟我借钱？我跟你说过这事儿，你什么态度？你怎么说的我？
他生活中需要花那么多钱吗？
So, Mr. Pierce, what do you make of these elements?
我是要去做活动的，我是要去参与一些事情的。你是从来都不会查我的手机，不会查我的 QQ， 也不会看我的电脑。可是你回来以后，你会。
It's a small, remote island off the coast of Boston. Sarah lived there with her son and her husband.
I suppose you want to ship me off there.
Darkwater holds the secret regarding my daughter, Mr. Pierce. You must uncover it.
是因为我觉得你这个人很有安全感，我才跟你在一起。可是你现在。
You must tell me if what the police suggest about the mental state of your daughter is true.
No. Sarah had visions. Everyone knew that. She never would have hurt a fly. She only thought she saw things.
Saw things? What do you mean by that?
I never knew what she meant by that. My daughter was an enigmatic figure, Mr. Pierce. You must find out the truth about her life and death.
Her husband was a big deal. At least they're sticking to the accident. though they mention Sarah's mental state was fragile. I believe you are right, sir. This case is not as simple as it appears.
I am aware of that. I believe there is more to this case than just an accident.
The sender's label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right. It came with Sarah's last painting.
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
That is what you must find out. Go to Darkwood. Find Warehouse 36.
你的兄弟、你的弟弟觉得你管得太多了，我相信你出于好意，对吧？我帮你理财。小吴觉得你管得太多，
I think I'm beginning to understand.
I'm willing to do anything for my daughter to recover her honor.
Quiet down. I'm on your
你
side.
觉得我对女人好，
Let's sum things up.
兄弟好，
An artist dies with her family in a house fire. Your only clue is a sort of promontory painting sent from Darkwater right before her death.
Correct. And the rumors about her supposed folly.
Which you don't totally deny.
Find that warehouse. Find out the truth regarding Sarah Hawkins' death. You'll be handsomely compensated.
All right. I'll take the case. I'll go to Darkwater. Look into the death.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. I didn't expect any less coming from a man in your situation.
Something's queer. But it's not like I have a choice. Darkwater. I think I've got a book on the North Atlantic. I'll no doubt find some information on this island in there. I used to be an avid reader.
这你有什么呢？先得说你，要想以后能做成大事儿，你先把这人这位置先摆明白，先把这人都给定了。
The Wentworth Agency doesn't attract top-notch cases.
首先前面一步就得说了，不管人
Darkwater is off the coast of Boston, but I've never heard of it. According to this book, it was often mentioned during whale hunting times at the end of the 19th century. But it seems to have been shown since then. All I have to do is go to the port. I just hope that I can find a boat able to take me to dark natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology.
飲多杯就走。
张老师忽略您的时候，您一般怎么调节自己？
比方说我说我生日了，我说经常张老师，我说你要那个就是送我礼物，他就会说你自己想要什么买什么，反正钱都在你那儿，你想买什么就买什么。我跟他说不可以，我的生日是你做的一份心意，哪怕一点很便宜的东西。
先牛激發淡斑精華，憑獲獎一輪來，有助減退色斑，8星期激發淡斑。
东西只要你心意到就可以了。如果他不满意，我会跟他去说这些问题。
说了之后，张老师是回嘴说我就为你在挣钱呢，还是乖乖的就买？
不会，张老师会记着。
越是老夫老妻，有时候还得有点形式感的东西，说明你在意他。哎，我就接受这个。因为我前你们俩谈恋爱的时候，我就听我说，50岁以后开始满是奔花儿，这就是要进步，要要求自己。其实反向的说，就是婚姻当中的人都在追求形式，有一种表达，更何况你们恋爱中的人呢？
对，我觉得一个女人，你可以自己想好你需要的是什么。你是需要她这种就是说事业型的人，那你必须去容忍她对这种事业的执着的追求。如果你喜欢那种情感的人，就比方像小丁那种属于情感的人，那他会给你这种呵护，给你这种细节的关爱，那可能他是给不了的。我觉得不可能每个人十全十美，但是你想清楚了你需要什么。
赵老师，我想和他们3位说一句话啊，咱把丁请上来，请上来，我听不见。好的，来丁。
我想呢，给他们3个人，说一说这个友情和爱情啊。友情呢是可以分享的，爱情是自私的，只能是1对1的。友情可能像茶，你可以慢慢的品；爱情像酒，喝了让你迷醉，但是喝多了让你伤身伤心，有可能还伤及他人。回到这个问题上，如果友情跟爱情走在一起了，通常爱情会伤害友情，极度的伤害。所以给你们3个人现在状况的一个建议就是，把所有有可能发生爱情的友情纠缠不清的可能性扼杀。扼杀唯一的方法，他们
almost there.
Stay on board. There's guys coming to unload. Welcome to Darkwater Island, Mr. Pierce.
Why, thank you, Captain Fitzroy.
So, what wind brought you?
Does the Hawkins case mean anything to you?
A sad story that we would all prefer to forget. Charles Hawkins may have been a landlubber, but he was a good man.
And his wife, Sarah Hawkins.
A nice young woman, and a great painter. What a tragedy. You know what? Go have a drink of the stranded whale. What you need is a good pick-me-up. Mitchell may not be very welcoming, but his bar holds a surprise for you. As for me, you'll find me at the harbor master's office. If it's the Hawkins family that brings you here, I have a pile of documents that should interest you.
Understood. I'm going for a look around the docks.
Kêu là cái bê sao đấy bắt tao tiền đâu hơi chào ta hơi chào ba ba kinh hỉ gì không chưa mới lo mình thấy
Prohibition is just a joke around here. That suits me fine.
theo tiếng này kinh hỉ gì
Hey.
P là P. Đi ra vài xíu mọi người.
Let's get him another drink. He's dry.
In my bar, we don't serve troublemakers.
Pure instinct. I behaved like a hound, and I sincerely apologize.
Veteran, huh?
307th Infantry Regiment.
Well, that'll be okay for now. But the war is over. Try not to forget it.
I'm here for information, not for a fight.
I prefer it that way. Speak then. I reserve the right to answer or not.
先問下呢個先。
The stranded whale. I guess this bar has been here a long time.
What can I tell you? I'm a nostalgic sort of guy. The name, it reminds us of the golden age of dock water. When our whalers left for long months and came back, sweating and stinking of the oil and flesh of the whales they'd been hunting.
It was a tough time, all the same.
Ah, but steeped in glory. We've never known such wealth since then.
What can you tell me about her?
We all knew she was famous on the mainland for her paintings. Never understood why. Then, I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
Her vision, was it so terrible?
The way I see it, the truth is really a question of point of view.
What do you mean by that?
Do you still trust the truth after a bottle of whiskey?
Her style made her famous. How would you describe it? Torture?
Yeah, well, it wasn't normal. I mean, for a young woman with a child and all that. We saw them in the papers and we said to ourselves, who can paint such things? Is that how she sees the world?
So they made you feel uncomfortable?
You need to see them for yourself. Make up your own mind.
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
I didn't expect to find alcohol on this island. What's the source of this miracle?
You mean who? Our source of supply wouldn't like me to betray them to the first comer.
I'll tell nobody.
She'd know it anyway. Anything else?
Do you know where this place is? Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
The Hawkins warehouse. I see, yeah. If I were you, I wouldn't hang around there.
Why not?
First off, there are rumors. Sailors from around here say you can hear noises coming from the warehouse at night. Screams, that sort of thing.
Screams?
And that's not all. There's the fate of its owners and all the superstitions that go with it. But I'll say no more. Anything else?
Captain Fitzroy told me about a little pick-me-up.
You want a drink?
I wouldn't say no to a glass.
Try this.
I think we'll get along well. That'll be all for now. Charles Hawkins was a heavy drinker and a debtor. Interesting. The miraculous catch. Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years.
Nightmares. Can hear things and voices whispering. Will follow its reader and appear at various locations, gifted with its own consciousness, until it finds a new reader.
哇！佢隻手，咦？着咗魔啊！呢個學者。
Do you like our song? We're true sirens. We may not be pros, but we give it all we've got. That's true. It's a reminder of the time when we were still fishing for whales off Darkwater Island.
What brought whaling to an end?
The whales, of course. They all disappeared.
You exhausted the stocks.
You could say that, yes. There were fewer and fewer of them. Until the last, the biggest. One of the miraculous catch. Exactly.
I've never heard this song before.
Only people from here know it. It tells the story of the miraculous catch.
I saw the newspaper clipping. You don't believe it, do you?
Watch what you say, young man. That catch saved our island.
Ah. Where's the proof?
We're the proof. Without it, the whole of Darkwater would have died of hunger in 1847. It's true. Everything happened just as it says in the newspaper report. Our grandparents tasted its flesh, and it was delicious.
Okay.
I bid you farewell, gentlemen.
Good night, stranger. So long.
呢度係
What you looking at, stranger?
神秘女子。
I've rarely seen a woman who can hold her liquor so confidently.
What gives you the right to judge me?
It was a compliment.
So what? Let me drink, stranger. I told you to beat it. I told you to beat it.
咁串一個女人，我俾日杯佢咧。
What can I get you?
That'll be all for now.
咁串，唔要就走啦。開唔到咩都係算。上去揾下船長，聚一聚夠先，揾下船長。
I wonder what Captain Fitzroy has got to say about this woman, Cat.
夜貓，佢又知道夜貓係一個女人嚟嘅。
Broken. This place seems half abandoned.
加翻盤先。
Fishing equipment. Could do with some rust remover.
廁所，個廁所都幾靚㗎喎，乾淨。
A souvenir from a more prosperous era. I guess this blackboard hasn't been wiped for more than 7 years. A Scylla. It finished up beached at the entrance to the harbor.
有得上2樓喎。 喂，執呢啲書可以升技能㗎嘛？呢度啲燈都有啲奇怪，啲全部都散發咗咁嘅氣，即係成座島都有古怪，嚟咗一個唔應該嚟嘅地方。
This man and Fitzroy could be twins.
民妖受伤了，所以实际上面等于这个儿子还要支撑您家里的对。如果他们就是不分手的话，这个假设可以吗？
What a macabre souvenir. What a macabre souvenir.
I brought out the Charles Hawkins cargo manifests. They're on the table next to you. But in truth, you're likely to be disappointed. When you're done, come join me on the deck.
邊度咧？
就是男女思维方式的问题。
啊呢度。
通常呢，男士呢是以结果为。
These manifests are signed by Charles Hawkins. That's all I'll get from them.
第二，女孩呢是以情感为导向，你男方投的越多，我越在情感上依靠你。结果呢，越来越依赖的，反而你失去了我，这是人家希望你达到的一个目的。爱情是有投入的，但是都要等着回报。可能
又成咗唔見咗咧？哇，咁樣講。
From here, I see everything that goes on in the harbor. The hard-working lives of my sailors, the fights of the stranded whale. Even the antics of these wharf rats don't escape me.
It's you who lays down the law around here.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I'm just the last serving captain on Dockwater. Tell me what I can do to help you.
I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Do you know where it is?
Look, it's right there. The warehouse is opposite the jetty. You can't miss it.
Understood.
You know who the building belongs to, don't you?
It belonged to the Hawkins family.
Precisely. Ship owners from father to son.
I think that somebody here wanted me to search this warehouse. I was looking at your photograph. One of the man in front of the boat.
Ah, yes, I can see the one you're talking about.
Interesting resemblance. I thought it was you, but with a wooden leg.
And for good reason. That's my father in the photograph.
Your father?
John Fitzroy, captain of the Scylla. His wooden leg is here. You can go and see it if you're interested.
The miraculous catch. Is it a local legend?
Not at all. It's an episode from our glorious past. Go read the story of the sailor's return to Dockwater Harbor. It's displayed on a wall of the stranded whale.
I found a threatening letter, signed by a certain cat.
What? I don't mind you visiting my harbor master's office, but I'd prefer if you didn't go through my affairs.
Are you being blackmailed?
Not exactly, no. That shyster wants to make us pay protection money.
With any success?
I wouldn't say that, but she terrifies my men as much as her own.
Can you not do anything to stop her?
Don't you worry about that.
Your manifests have been blacked out. They're totally unreadable.
Yeah, I saw that. I've got no idea who did it or why. I don't remember having countersigned anything special enough for someone to hide it.
And why obliterate the dates, as well as the goods stored in the warehouse?
You mean that the dates have some meaning?
I know that Charles Hawkins was descended from a family of ship owners, and the island's fishing industry was hit badly.
Indeed, we specialized in whaling, but no whalers went out to sea after the miraculous catch of 1847.
So where did the Hawkins family get its money?
Well, from what Charles inherited, I presume. Although, these dates on the manifests could indicate that he had contracts of another kind.
With whom, I wonder? I shall be on my way.
So come back and see me when you've got something new.
布拉德利係邊鬼嚟？
Maybe we should let him take it.
I told you to beat it.
Oh, 警官嚟嘅。
But it's only a fish.
A fish? You've got no idea. Don't badmouth what you don't know, or you'll pay for it for sure.
Okay, that's enough. Step back and let us do our job.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy.
They're cops. They can't understand.
Damn stupid idiot.
The same goes for you, sir. Move along.
I'm looking for this address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
Ah. And so who are you?
I didn't introduce myself. Edward Pierce, private detective.
In any case, it's not very important. I can't answer that.
You can't? Or you don't want to?
Oh, no. I'm not getting into those games, me. Now, please, allow me to do my job.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign.
You didn't tell me that the warehouse I was looking for was right in front of us.
Because its owner is dead. And I don't want to see you hanging around it. Now please, leave us to our work.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. Oh yeah? It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy.
The blood is just beginning to coagulate. It died a short time ago. Only a specialist would know what happened.
you think you're going?
I thought that the Hawkins case had been closed.
That's true.
So what are you doing on guard duty in front of this warehouse?
Who's asking the questions here, the cop or the tourist?
What more can you say about the death of the Hawkins family?
Not much more than what everyone knows. I wasn't on the case. They were all burnt to death, right? Up at their place.
The whole mansion went up in flames.
Don't get it into your head to go wandering around up there. It's dangerous.
What do you mean by that?
The only one left there was old Silas, and the accident has affected him badly. He can be unpredictable, especially if a stranger starts poking around the property.
Is he a danger to the public?
No, he's in his own home. Do yourself a favor. Leave him well alone. You again. I told you to beat it.
No need to get worked up.
Vậy, từ từ tới gần 6 chiều. Chào tiêu dưới. Ý tôi thành khó nhập với. Dạ. Ui. Cầm tiền nó sẽ khó sổ.
St. Brendan, patron saint of sailors and travelers. Desecrated. I can't even say which language is written in it. Hello, old friend.
Ê, nó đâu cái chị cháu rồi. Tìm ra xịt phan thì không chơi xịt phó. Cầm xám có gì.
You live here?
Why did you do that, huh?
We saw what you did to St. Brendan.
Yeah, we'll teach you to come onto our island and ridicule our protectors.
Chơi cho đây đây.
How can I be the one who defaced your saint? I've just come ashore, you idiots.
That's true. We're as drunk as lords.
You bet. You could have gone by without us seeing you.
Do not rile me. You can hardly stand up.
He's right.
We're no match. For the moment. We're annoyed. It's understandable.
There's you, our beloved statue, and then those two bozos behind us. Wait, now that I think about it, it's got to be them. There's one of them who's always going back and forth to the statue.
Quieter. That's all we need for them to hear us.
What brings you to dark water?
The two guys behind you. What are they guarding?
The bootleggers. Scum.
They're protecting their territory. From whom, I wonder?
They really don't have a choice anyway. They're more scared of Cat than an attack by drunken sailors.
If only they would kill each other.
Is it Cat who's shaking down Captain Fitzroy?
Oh, hold on just a minute. We didn't tell you a thing.
Nothing at all.
That statue represents your local saint.
What do you mean by local, exactly?
You wouldn't be looking down at us, like all townspeople do.
St. Brendan. He protected whalers and fishermen like us. Until those assholes defaced him.
Peculiar house.
Yeah, that's where we live. Our boat.
It's not because it doesn't float anymore that we're going to abandon it.
Isn't it a bit early?
We got nothing better to do anyway. There's not much work around here.
Fitzroy gives us a few chores every now and again, but since the whaling station shut down, ain't a lot of jobs left around here.
So we drink.
I've taken enough of your time.
We'll see you later.
Now, if it gets out I'll have serious problems with you know who. I bet that you have someone in your heart.
How could you be dumb enough to leave the entrance to the warehouses unguarded?
Keep your voice down. Why not go and shout at the cat while you're at it? I don't want to end up with her little knife under my throat.
It's a stiletto, idiot. And with that smell on your breath, I don't give you much chance anyway.
They can't understand. Damn stupid idiots.
You didn't tell me that the warehouse I was looking for was right in...
Because its owner is... And I don't... Now, please.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign.
You saw what happened with those sailors. Don't hang around here unless you want trouble with the bootleggers.
I've seen the kind of messages their boss sends. You're not scared of her.
Of course I am. Everyone's scared of that woman. She's not interested in small fry like me. You, on the other hand, nose around too much, you'll have dealings with her.
This warehouse looks abandoned. Why does it interest them so much?
It's no doubt a question of territory, but I ain't asking. If you want to know more, go ask the captain.
Good. Thank you. I shall take my leave. A whale vertebrate. If the newspaper clipping in the bar is true, this bone is a real fossil. This ratchet device seems to be usable. A handle. It must come from these old winches. It looks like there's a way in under this grate. I could use this old winch to lift the grating.
咁個問號係咁閃嘅，係不停閃嘅問號，用火，用火，唔知要燒幾耐咧？
这些钱都是我给他的。以前我觉得这没什么，直到有一天我父亲突然生病了，住了很长时间一个医院。在这期间，我就在想，如果没有了我父亲，我的家里真的什么都没有了。如果我什么都没有了，他还愿意和我在一起吗？我不再想做你的自动取款机了，听起来好像在这段爱情背后，钱的因素很大。
有人阻咗佢。
I told you to beat it.
串嘅呢個女人。
What can I get you?
What do you know about the Hawkins warehouse?
If I were you, I wouldn't hang around there.
Why not?
First off, they're sailors screen, and that's blood off anything.
That'll be all for now.
Nightmares. Can hear things and voices whispering. Will follow its reader and appear at various locations.
You're back again. What can I do for you?
Apparently the bootleggers don't want anyone hanging around the warehouses.
They're part of the private property I mentioned earlier.
And yet the place looks abandoned. Why guard the entrance?
As a precaution, I suppose. All the warehouses are more or less interconnected by old sewers.
You mean that there's a way to go from one to the other by tunnel?
I couldn't tell you if it's still the case today for all the warehouses on the island, but I think I can imagine what you've got in mind. You can always visit them if you're not the claustrophobic type. You're back at what can...
I shall be on my way.
So come.
We're no longer at home on our own island.
Calm down. It's not worth the effort.
Who's this guy?
No idea. What's with you wandering around here like a hungry dog?
We saw you talking to the two soaks. Go die of thirst, the lot of you. It'll stink less.
So, who are you?
Are you stupid or are you doing it on purpose?
Everybody knows us on Darkwater.
I've just arrived.
Let's just say we're standing guard for the owner of the site. And we let no one enter her property.
I went to see the statue of St. Brendan.
What makes you think we did it?
We're bootleggers, not savages.
Who do you think defaced the statue?
What do I know? They could have done it by themselves.
The sailors?
Who else, in your opinion? And who's interested?
What are you guarding, exactly?
Listen, bonehead, we already told you that we're guarding our boss's turf.
Cat, she's your boss.
What?
You listen through keyhole.
She's the boss, yeah. She says who goes in or not.
Shut up, you dummy. You wanted to know that you also talk too much.
She must be quite intimidating if she can make two men like you tremble.
She redid the smile at the last one who wanted to get in.
I hope he had a good dentist.
No, you don't understand. She really cut him a new smile.
But he only smiles with the left cheek.
She sounds frightening.
And she doesn't like to be talked about behind her back.
I've got to enter the Hawkins warehouse. I guess it's gonna be complicated.
No, it's very simple, in fact. Fuck off.
I don't give a damn about your racket. I just want to get into this warehouse.
Now, we don't give a damn about you. Whatever your reason for wanting inside, there's nothing we can do for you.
I bid you, gentlemen.
有2樓㗎。
I told you to beat it.
真係存在呢個女人。
实际上面等于你父母先给你打钱，对，然后你再把钱打给他。对他经常就是什么，我在这个网站上看到一个包，我今天出去逛街了，我在什么商场看到一个包一个衣服。
没有，一刚开始就是我觉得网上的东西他都会就放在购物车里嘛，他就会都给我买回来。逛街，然后他就会说啊，这个你喜欢吗？那个你喜欢吗？喜欢吗？你就拿上吧。我就感觉是这样的，我就。
但是那是以前我知道我以前是错的，现在我想改，但是你怎么就咱俩就老因为这种现在因为这个问题吵架呢？他刚才说1个月给你14500，你开销比车那么大。
买东西的话才会这么大，
反正我是听不下去了。
不会这样的。
你们问问，你们管束一下，来一起进入清洗过问卷。
It should be possible to mount this cogwheel on the winch.
自己家境就还行，所以我花钱的习惯也就在这种的。我再插一句，就是我觉得这个姑娘就是，如果
Looks like everything is in its place. All I have to do is turn this handle.
他给你一桶这样的高消费，人家对方的父亲亲的这个真的是很严重的。你在这种情况下，你还要求这小伙子一味的在经济上去满足你，你不觉得这样的很自私吗？在这种情况下，你应该跟这个小伙子同甘共苦，去理解、包容他，甚至给他鼓励，而不是一味的在完全是。
哇！毒氣嚟嗰啲咩料？仲要係死咗添，未。
前段的标签是混沌，后段的标签是
Smoke. It's coming from this oil. I hope it's not toxic.
男方以为爱他就是为他花钱，女方以为爱我就是为我花钱，你们这完全就是理解错误。 好在有了一件事儿，双方学习。接下来，你如果这个女孩出现借钱的话，对不起，不要借她，借也可以，还一定不要来找我。
我现在知道，现在我的付出其实不是我自己一个人在付出，因为我的钱都是家里给我的，所以我以后就不能像以前那么奢侈，
你觉醒了，女孩，如果你还执迷不悟的话，非常可怕。
我觉得你们也可以站在我这种角度，然后说一下，我觉得不一定所有的冲击点都在我这里，对不对呢？其实我觉得。
喂，咩料？哇，咩料？哇，克蘇魯啊！咦，還講？
This is primitive.
級數唔夠。數唔夠，升唔到。
我不再想做你的自动取款机了，听起来好像在这段爱情背后，甜的因素很大。接下用掌声请出这对年轻人来唱歌。
真没出来了。
Oh, this place stinks. What is the connection between this place and the Sarah Hawkins case?
Ui, 重建場景。咩料？
What happened here? What is this picture of Charles and Sarah Hawkins doing here? Is this one of Sarah Hawkins' paintings? It smells as bad as it looks. Who has enough money to buy painkillers but stays in a place like this? Can't sleep. I know how that feels.
又係呢種樣，同男主一樣。
And whoever it is has something to tell me about the Hawkins case. Is there anyone in there? You! Don't move! Detective Pierce. I told you to stay away from this warehouse.
You seem like a competent officer.
You're trying to manipulate me, Mr. Pierce. I hate to be taken for a fool.
All right, Inspector Lestrade. Let me take a more direct approach. Can you explain what this painting is doing here?
This strange poetry. Wait, I know it. It was in the Hawkins mansion when we came to investigate the fire.
So you confirmed that it was removed from the crime scene? I'd like to go and see the mansion.
Of course. You want to go back along his trail? I'd like to understand how this painting made it to here. Come on. My car's parked down the way. Andrews, would you please shut the door? Open your eyes, damn it. This guy went right under your nose. God damn it. Her again. This case has nothing to do with you, Baker. Clear the passage or I'll shut you up for obstruction.
Officer Bradley, you've finally grown up here. Too bad you're too fat to see them down there.
Why you?
Come on, keep the smile. You don't want to force me to widen it.
Okay, I get it. Can we go to the mansion now?
Who the hell are you? What were you doing on my turf? I've got my eye on you. We'll meet again.
Is it far, this mansion?
Look behind you, at the top of the ridge. You see the building? That's the Hawkins mansion. Come on, we got some driving.
很后悔签名的。
有人偷窺緊我哋。
Well, here we are, Hawkins Mansion. The place has been abandoned since the fire. There's only old Winchester in his hut.
Your partner, Andrews, warned me against him.
You managed to get something out of that bum? I'll end up asking you for advice.
He talks too much. He inferred that old Silas was slightly unhinged.
That's not far off the mark, I suppose. But kinda unfair at the same time. You know, Silas Winchester has been working for the Hawkins family as far back as I can remember. Charles was like a son to him. The day of the fire, he lost his whole family, so he's got nowhere to go. And, as you'll see, in a way, he's still watching over them. Is there anything else you want to ask me? Or do you want to go up there?
I don't believe the fire is the only reason this house is in such a state.
It's a very old building, you know? Its foundations would probably date from the arrival of the first settlers.
It's got nothing to do with Charles Hawkins' debts.
Ha! You've already begun to nose around it, would seem. So, since you already know it, the Hawkins family couldn't afford the upkeep of this house. It remains to be seen what they did with all their money. I wager it was Charles Hawkins' travels. Let's go up there. Unless you still have questions.
You're the one who looked after the Hawkins case.
Don't think I was trying to hide it. It's just that this discovery shakes my convictions.
That's why you're so keen to find out who removed the painting from the mansion.
Yes. If something escaped us, if there's been a law enforcement error, then it's up to the police to make good its mistake. Anything else?
I prefer to be prepared if there's going to be trouble.
It's a wise attitude. But apart from old Silas and some rotten floorboards, there's nothing to worry about.
Could he be a problem?
Strictly speaking, he ain't dangerous. But since the tragedy, he's been a little touched. Though, he's a remarkably sturdy man, given his age. A true force of nature.
A sad old man doesn't worry me.
Gee, if you don't want to listen to my advice, we might as well go, right?
Night falls quickly here, and I want to be able to see when we arrive.
I'll go with you, if only to reassure Silas.
Why not? You can help.
Right. Let's go.
最大的缺点就是现在形成一种就是攀比系统。好，第三个问题，如果他变成了一个穷光蛋，还是跟他好？他坚定的跟你好，但是他永远减退不了他的攀比心了。这样的女人你还敢娶？有点犹豫吧。好，我的问题问完了，接下来的时间留给你们短暂的思考一下，然后进入我们的黄金6秒。
Bradley was right. This place is much older than I imagined, but the architecture seems too recent. The flowers on Sarah Hawkins' grave are fresh. The old caretaker must be very attached to her. Charles Hawkins' grave. Who could have done this?
I told you. Silas Winchester is still watching over the Hawkins family.
I must say, it's pretty gloomy.
So, Detective, does this place inspire any thoughts?
Why were they buried here?
I was given to believe that it was Charles Hawkins' wish.
Strange idea. I imagine Webster wasn't too pleased.
Mrs. Hawkins' father? He said that he's devastated.
Let's go to the mansion.
Please give me a minute.
Poor kid.
I didn't expect to set foot back here after the burial. What kind of deranged individual would defile this sanctuary? Steal a burnt painting? I don't see Silas doing such a thing.
Poor kid.
Let alone allowing it. Even that broad vacant above that. Lord, have pity on this poor family.
Poor kid.
佢留喺度，咁啊自己
Recently fallen. It's as if all life has abandoned the place. Sturdy and well sharpened. Sturdy and well sharpened. The axe is gone. I'd better be on my guard.
買過啊，個男人仲未揾翻嚟。
咁你唔見咗？
白痴啊！
find another entrance. This entrance is still in use.
Whoa! Whoa! You were trying to force the door, you nosy prick!
Easy, sir, all right? Put down the axe.
You know what we do with rubble like you? We gut them! Dump them into the ocean!
Whoa! You're Mr. Winchester. Lower that axe. Let's talk calmly.
I'll show you how we have it out on dark water.
Wait, I can see the button.
You haven't forgiven yourself. You stay here to honor the memory of the deceased.
That's true. I want no more violence. No more tragedy.
It's painful to be the last one left.
You don't know how right you are. Understood. I'm listening.
The police report describes a domestic accident. But Stephen Webster has several reasons to believe that this may not be the case.
Webster is as stubborn as an old mule. And I did tell him that we should let the dead rest in peace.
He wants to restore the reputation of his daughter. I just need to see where the fire started.
No, I can't let you in. The mansion isn't safe.
That's why you barricaded the entrance.
That's right.
And this door?
It's locked, and I make sure it stays that way.
You still put flowers on her grave. You cherish her.
Mrs. Hawkins was an exceptional person. She cared for everyone around her.
Let me shed a light on what happened to her. Give me that key.
I'm probably making a big mistake, but it won't be the first. Here, take the key and do what you have to do. Go on, then, just to get rid of you.
Let's see what more I can learn from this mansion.
What now?
Do you have a moment?
What now?
Nothing. Sorry.
Stop wasting my time.
This gate is locked. I know a thing or two about solitude myself. Rather Spartan. The caretaker has simple tastes. The poor wretch seems to spend the best part of his time isolated from the world. Bourbon. Empty, of course.
Piers, shall we enter? Now that you've finished your fun and games with Silas, we can perhaps inspect the mansion.
You're right. Let's go. Let's take a look inside.
I'm with you.
视频聊天一段时间，都是聊到我断电、断网这个事情。然后每个星期的话，我们都是保持着1个星期1封信的一个习惯，一直维持着这些关系。后来我大学毕业去当兵了，当兵之后呢，有的时候晚上趁我班长他们睡觉了，偷偷用手机给他打电话。有一次我打电话被我班长抓到了，然后把手机给收过去了。当然违纪嘛，走了以后基本上就是写信，靠写信为生。你们这6年关系一直很稳定吗？
也没有，中间吵过架。
为什么吵？
他不太相信我，因为我有一个男同学，大学的时候一直
Follow me. I know the place.
我也跟他说得很清楚，他
Who left this light on?
走我俩那个当借口，